initial loan value at about 1.8 million. It's that simple. Contact us for more information.
With Dolla, repaying your loans have never been easier. Enjoy the hassle-free convenience of repaying your loans in two simple ways. 1. Bill Express. With over 300 locations island-wide, you can find a location that suits your schedule to ensure a smooth repayment process. 2. Online payments. Visit billexpress.com to enjoy the flexibility of repaying your loans online, anytime, anywhere, safely and securely. And the best part? It's absolutely free. Or you can even pay on the go and save time by taking advantage of our mobile payment option via link. For any queries or assistance, feel free to contact us at 927-4881. And of course, thank you for choosing Dolla Financial.
Are you a business owner? Are you looking for a fast, easy and secure business loan? Turn on my business with Dolla.
Getting a business loan has never been easier. Let Dolla help you plan ahead and take your business to the next level.
With 30 months to repay, competitive interest rates, flexible payment options, and 24-hour approval, financing your dream will be a breeze.
And applying is simple. All you need is your ID, your TRN, your proof of income, proof of address, and your business registration.
But of course, conditions apply. But trust us, it's worth it.
Apply today and turn your business dreams into reality.
Definitely at Dolla.
With Dolla, repaying your loan. With Dolla, repaying your loans have never been easier. Enjoy the hassle-free convenience of repaying your loans in two simple ways. 1. Bill Express. With over 300 locations island-wide, you can find a location that suits your schedule to ensure a smooth repayment process. 2. Online payments. Visit billexpress.com to enjoy the flexibility of repaying your loans online, anytime, anywhere, safely and securely. And the best part? It's absolutely free. Or you can even pay on the go and save time by taking advantage of our mobile payment option via link. For any queries or assistance, feel free to contact us at 927-4881. And of course, thank you for choosing Dolla Financial.
Are you a business owner? Are you looking for a fast, easy and secure business loan? Turn on my business with Dolla.
Getting a business loan has never been easier. Let Dolla help you plan ahead and take your business to the next level.
With 30 months to repay, competitive interest rates, flexible payment options, and 24-hour approval, financing your dream will be a breeze.
And applying is simple. All you need is your ID, your TRN, your proof of income, proof of address, and your business registration.
But of course, conditions apply. But trust us, it's worth it.
Apply today and turn your business dreams into reality.
Definitely at Dolla.
With Dolla, repaying your loans have never been easier. Enjoy the hassle-free convenience of repaying your loans in two simple ways. 1. Bill Express. With over 300 locations island-wide, you can find a location that suits your schedule to ensure a smooth repayment process. 2. Online payments. Visit billexpress.com to enjoy the flexibility of repaying your loans online, anytime, anywhere, safely and securely. And the best part? It's absolutely free. Or you can even pay on the go and save time by taking advantage of our mobile payment option via link. For any queries or assistance, feel free to contact us at 927-4881. And of course, thank you for choosing Dolla Financial.
Are you a business owner? Are you looking for a fast, easy, and secure business loan? Come on, business with Dolla.
Getting a business loan has never been easier. Let Dolla help you plan ahead and take your business to the next level.
With up to 30 months to repay, competitive interest rates, flexible payment options, and 24-hour approval, financing your dream will be a breeze.
And applying is simple. All you need is your ID, your TRN, your proof of income, proof of address, and your business registration.
But of course, conditions apply. But trust us, it's worth it.
Apply today and turn your business dreams into reality.
Definitely at Dolla.
With Dolla,
Hi, my name is David Henriquez, CEO of Ultra Financier. Here at Ultra Financier, we accept a wide range of luxury assets to be used as collateral for your Ultra loan. As you can see here, we accept a wide range of fine jewelry at Ultra. On my left here, the rose gold Cartier love bracelet. From Cartier as well, the Justin Clou in rose gold. The vintage Alhambra pendant from Van Cleef. And the oyster rose gold from Rolex. We use different types of metrics to authenticate and value the items. We use weight, material, and also the certificate of authentication, which will have the copyright number and serial number of the item. These items together value approximately $3.6 million. Therefore, putting your Ultra loan value at about $1.8 million. It's that simple. Contact us for more information.
Wagwan people, it's your girl Danger, and today we are in the streets of Halfway Tree to talk about the Dolla Financial $1 Million Woman campaign. And guess what? If you are a female, small or micro business owner, this is your chance to win big, because 3 lucky ladies will get the opportunity to win a whopping $1 million to invest in their company. And all you have to do to enter is to just apply for a $200,000 loan and submit your business idea to www.dollafinancial.com. So right about now, we're going to go out in the streets to find out if the people them have the dollars and the cents. Stay tuned. All right, people. So I'm going to find an auntie out in the streets. Auntie, tell them what your name and what's your occupation.
My name is Raquel. My application, I'm an entrepreneur.
You're an entrepreneur.
I'm Annalise Bond and I'm a businesswoman.
I'm Claudia, a nail technician.
But my name is Suzette Mickey. I am the sole operator for personalized gifts.
My name is Sandra Thomas. I'm a consultant.
My name is Kalisha Cooper. My occupation is I'm a customer service agent.
My name is Melissa Knight and I am a sales rep at the Beauty Concept.
If you could choose a Jamaican celebrity to manage your money, who would it be?
No, honestly, I like Miss Kitty.
Miss Kitty, all right. So why you not choose Miss Kitty for manage your money, though?
Miss Kitty seems like a wise woman, you know? She seems like she's all about getting to the top, so I feel like she's good with her money.
And should I manage it good?
Yeah, I feel like she'll do a good job.
All right.
Oh, that no.
Somebody with sense, cause you don't want an idiot to manage your things. Any Jamaican celebrity for manage your money?
I tell you the truth, the only celebrity I know me to manage my own money. I don't want a celebrity manage my money. I tell you the truth.
To be honest, Bert Samuels.
Okay, why though?
Well, to be honest, seeing what he has been doing, I would trust him with my money. And he's a big lawyer in Jamaica.
So it's based on what you see, you decide to say, all right, I can trust the money with my money.
Yes, and what I know about him and integrity and all of that.
All right.
It'll be Kevin Dunswell.
So why you choose Kevin Downs when you have so many other celebrities?
Because I think he is the right one, and he's a real God man, and say he might do the right thing. So say he's able to manage your money and help you.
All right, Kalisha Cooper. I'm going to ask you a riddle right now, right? So I have to read it off of one paper. What can you hold in your right hand but never in your left hand? What can you hold in your right hand, but never in your left hand? Think.
Maybe a pen because me don't write with my left hand.
That's not bad. It's not great, but it's don't bad.
No bad.
It's don't bad.
That's actually a good answer.
Your left hand.
How you get that so fast? How are we
Yeah,
here,
your left hand. If you're gonna ask me that, what me can hold on my right hand, when me can. That must be my left hand.
No, man, but you're smart. What can you hold in your right hand, but you just can't hold it in your left hand?
I can't hold my fingers. I can't hold my left hand in my right hand, but I can't hold my left hand in my left hand.
Yeah, that right. That's correct. All right, so final question. What would it feel like to be $1 million woman?
Well, to be honest, it would be a pleasure. I would know that I can help others to see their dreams also come true.
It's mean a lot, and it means a maze to be $1 million woman. You have your own interest, you have your own independence. You're an independent businesswoman. You occupy yourself, you can do anything with it. In $1 million, you can change it and to be a billionaire.
Why me I tell you like I'm just born? Yeah, man, I feel like I'm just born a new life, new everything, new Claudia, new me, new nail set. I just have to be a new thing, so the new me come right out.
All right, so Claudia said being $1 million woman would have mean newness, new everything.
New.
Wow. $1 million woman, mean you have your things together, you have your life all sorted out. Peace, inner peace. To be a true $1 million woman, you have to love yourself and have peace, and that's how you operate at your highest. That's how you are able to really multiply. Because remember, what is out is what's coming from inside. So that to me is a true $1 million woman,
What are the first 3 things that come to mind when you hear Dolla Financial? Give me the first 3 words that come to mind when you hear Dolla Financial.
Money I can get.
Money I can get. Why? That more than 3, but it can go on too.
Right.
It can go on. Yeah.
Financial.
Yeah.
Benefits.
Business, financial.
My name is Ryan Reed, and I'm the chairman of the board of directors for this company. I want to use this distinct opportunity to welcome, firstly, each and every shareholder of Dolla Financial Services, those who are joined in person and those who are joined virtually. I also want to acknowledge the employees, guests, and members of the media. The proceedings today will try to make it as efficient as possible while still allowing time for questions, feedback, and the presentations that are required. Today is the 31st of May. We're here in Kingston, Jamaica, and it is now 11:03 a.m. I will now invite Mr. Mario Brown, who is the Vice President of Sales at Ultra Financier, to lead us off in prayer.
Morning, everybody. Let's get in a spirit of reverence. Heavenly Father,
we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a group, and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace, Lord, as we make decisions that will affect staff, friends, and shareholders of Dolla Financial Services. Continue to remind us that all we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the greater glory of you and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the agenda for today is expansive, and I will go through each item. We'll have the quorum rules on notice, call to order, presentation on the company, presentation on its subsidiary, Ultra Financier, the financial report, the ordinary resolutions and results of poll, question and answer, and termination. At this point in time, I'm going to invite the company secretary, Mr. Jordan Chin, to firstly establish or determine if we have a quorum established, communicate the rules of the meeting, and the notice previously circulated. Jordan?
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, members, guests, good morning. I will take you through the notice of the meeting, establish a quorum, being present, and the rules of the meeting. I firstly refer to the notice of the annual general meeting, which was dated April 30th, 2024, with the relevant details of the meeting and the ordinary resolutions stated therein. This meeting is being held in hybrid format, which includes physical and online presence. Chairman, in accordance with the articles, I can confirm that a quorum is present. We have received 2 proxies, which have been duly noted. I will now take us through the rules of today's meeting. Members, there will be all questions will be dealt with during the Q&A session on the agenda. This includes questions which were emailed to marketing@dollafinancial.com. marketing@dollafinancial.com, yes, prior to this meeting. Shareholders joining us online can also submit questions using the Q&A function located on their screen. We will make every effort to answer as many questions as possible during the session. However, based on time constraints, any questions unanswered during the session will be answered by the Dolla team after the meeting. Shareholders who are present in the room will be given an opportunity to ask questions during this session as well. I advise that microphones will be muted for online users. In regard to the ordinary resolutions, I advise that only shareholders can propose and second the motions for the resolutions. We ask that shareholders in the room raise their hand to propose and second, and we ask that shareholders online use the raise hand function located on your screen. All voting will be done using the online platform. We therefore ask that all shareholders use the link provided by email or the QR code which was given upon entry into today's meeting room to register and vote on the ordinary resolutions at the appropriate time. Please note that you will need your JCSD or TRN number to register. You will be given 30 seconds to vote after each resolution has been properly motioned. The chairman will be asked to determine whether the resolution has been carried. For shareholders online having technical difficulties, please contact our help desk at 876-927-4881. Or if any shareholder in the room is having any difficulties using the online platform, I will accept a show of hand as your vote. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Jordan. So now that we have a quorum established and the rules of the meeting have been clearly communicated, I now call this meeting to order. Firstly, let me introduce the board of directors who effectively govern the business of your company. My name is Ryan Reed again, chairman. I want to acknowledge our deputy chairman, Dr. Michael Banbury, director Lisa Lewis. I want to acknowledge Director Dane Pattison and Director Kadeen Mears. Also, I want to acknowledge Director Alison Taff, who was appointed in the financial year 2024, and our mentor, Mrs. Tanya Waldron Gooden. I also want to acknowledge the members of the executive team who effectively operate this company. Firstly, Mr. Kenroy Carr, who is the Chief Executive Officer. We have Ms. Trevine McKenzie, who is the Chief Financial Officer. We have Mr. David Henriquez, who is the Chief Executive Officer of our wholly owned subsidiary, Ultra Financier. Are there any apologies for absence, Jordan? No apologies. Thank you. Members, the minutes of the 2023 AGM have been circulated. 2022 AGM, I should say, have been circulated. Can we move for a confirmation? All right, thank you. We move to item 5 on the agenda. Presentation on Dolla Financial Services. We'll now hear from Mr. Kenroy Carr. Welcome him.
Thank you, Chair. Board of Directors, special invited guests, our valued shareholders and the customers, and my colleagues who are present today. Pleasant morning to you all. It is indeed an honor to address you at our second annual general meeting as a listed company on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Today, I am honored and excited to share with you some of our milestones, our achievements, and strategic initiatives during 2023, as well as some of our plans and future growth strategies for the company going forward. Now, despite the economic and market fluctuations and a lot of changes, regulatory changes brought on by what I term the relatively new Microcredit Act, Dolla demonstrated remarkable resilience during 2023, and we achieved unprecedented milestones and exceeded all our key performance indicators. I want to take this moment to extend a heartfelt appreciation and gratitude to you, our esteemed shareholders, for your investment, for your continued support, and of course, for your confidence in the company during 2023. I sincerely thank our valued customers who, by large, are our financial partners. It is your unwavering support and commitment that has fueled our inspiration and really inspire us to reach greater heights. This morning I was walking through the door a few minutes ago, and I was asked by a shareholder what separates us from other players in the industry. And my response was, it's really our unique ability to identify the potential in a small tree and design solutions that really help to groom that tree and allow it to blossom into a forest. And that is what we do at Dolla. That is why we're here today. All right, so here's an overview of our presentation for today. I will be focusing on our milestones, some highlights of our financial performance, the strategic objectives and outlook, and of course, just some insight into the loan portfolio, which of course is our most important asset, that really represents our asset at Dolla. After which you'll hear from David Henriquez, the CEO of Ultra Financier, and after his presentation, our CFO, Trevin McKenzie, will guide us through the financial results for 2023. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge our board of directors, especially our chairman, who has been really instrumental in the management of the company. This is a team that has a great appreciation for the day-to-day activities of the company and really don't just hold us accountable for the performance, but is also a source of guidance and inspiration. And I really thank you for your continued support and dedication during 2023 and of course, on an ongoing basis. Before I go, I want to also take a moment to acknowledge Director Kadeen Mears, our former CEO and founder of Dolla Financial Services, who would have led us, been the captain of the team up to the first half of 2023. And as the founder of Dolla, I mean, you all know Kadeen's story. He has laid the foundation for the growth and success of this company. And I know that my transition into the role was an undoubtedly smooth one, and it's really because of his focus on the development of the team. So thank you, Director Mears. Our management team, we have about 15 faces here, some in the audience today. This could not have been possible without their contribution, without their dedication to the strategic objectives of the company. And while we are missing the other 45 employees, I really have to highlight them with whichever subsidiary they're a part of. It's really those contributions that have resulted in our success today. So kudos to our management team. Now, I will just quickly take you through some of the main highlights during 2023. You'd have seen where we held our first annual general meeting since being listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and also celebrated our first year of being listed. We won the second runner-up award for corporate disclosure and investor relations at the Jamaica Stock Exchange Best Practice Award. And of course, this is a testament of our commitment towards regulatory best practices and of course, full disclosure to our investors. You have seen quarter after quarter, we have been out there disclosing information related to our performance and have not shied away from any questions, whether they're good or bad, and that's what we do. You'd have seen us donated $1 million to the Bustamante Children's Hospital and contributed a further $2 million to other charitable causes. Our loan portfolio increased to $2.5 billion, which really represents a 50% increase year over year. And we, for this one, return value to our shareholders. Of course, you know, our investors, many of whom are our customers, they invest in Dolla, and it's really because some of them are looking for a return, and we're happy that through the payments of dividend totaling approximately $165 million during 2023, we were able to return value to our shareholders. And importantly, in the latter part of the year, we got our approval from the DBJ as an accredited microfinance institution, which led to us being able to raise a further $500 million in funding critical to the expansion of the loan portfolio. So I'll just quickly take you through some highlights of the loan portfolio. Of course, the loan portfolio represents approximately 90% of our asset, and as such, it's not just a fundamental component of the business, but really what generates our revenue. And this is why management prioritizes strategies that uphold the quality, the robustness of the loan portfolio. The customer base during 2023 increased to 8,500. I believe in 2022, we're at about 6,700 customers, so that's about a 35% increase. During our average loan term, we usually disburse loans ranging from about 3 months, in some cases up to 30 months, but on average, the duration is about 12 months. The average loan size when we exclude loans to Ultra would have been about 600,000, and you can see our continued focus on loans disbursed to entrepreneurs and businesses, as 83% of the loans on the portfolio as at the end of the year represented loan to businesses, while the remaining 17% were consumer personal related loans. Now, in relation to our sector exposure, this is one of those indicators that we use to track how diversified the loan portfolio is. You can see that the portfolio is well diversified, and this really helps us to mitigate risk in the event of any unexpected fallout based on market fluctuation in any given industry. And you can see that the prominent industries, which are really high growth industries, would have been the real estate and construction, transportation, trucking and haulage, as well as the retail industry. Another important area that we use to measure the quality of the loan portfolio is largely what percentage of it is secured loan. And of course, this, when I say secured, I'm making reference to residential and commercial real estate. We're talking about motor vehicles as well as stocks and bonds that are listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. So those are what we classify as secured loans. And as at December 2023, 82% of the portfolio, would have been secured by those things that we had identified just now, while the remaining 18% was unsecured. This is by and large what would be the driving factors of two other indicators, the ECL and NPL, that we'll be looking at shortly. So along with the 50% growth in our loan portfolio to 2.5 billion, income would have we would have generated income of 1.2 billion, which is a record for the company, and that resulted in our net profit, another record for the company, of 445 million, which is approximately 50% year over year. So our expected credit loss, this is really the loss provision that we make for each loan that we disburse from the day we do the disbursement. So it's really an assumption that the customer will default at some point, so we have to make some provision. This was at 3.8%, which is a record low for the company since its inception. We have managed to consistently maintain ECL well below our budget, as well as the industry. I can confidently say that this is the lowest ECL for any listed microfinance institution in Jamaica. And this, of course, is what this metric is really important to us, because it is one that affects our bottom line. It goes directly to expenses, so the lower we can get ECL, of course, the more the bottom line will improve. Our non-performing loan accounted for 8.2% of the portfolio, and again, this is below our benchmark, our target, and also below the industry average. Of course, we continue to monitor this on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and continue to enforce all collection strategies to ensure that this number is maintained at a manageable level. I just want to highlight too that at 8.2% ECL, I believe that this was a slight increase over the prior year. However, there are loans within this category that are also secured and would have probably gone over the 90-day bucket, but we have been able to take action that would have resulted in some of these loans coming back into a performing state or closing out these accounts. In relation to the business sectors, Dolla Jamaica accounted for 60% of our loan portfolio and contributed 68% of the group's overall profit. Ultra represented 35% of the loan portfolio and contributed 28% to profitability, while Dolla Guyana made up 5% of the portfolio with a profit contribution of 3%. The stock price. So our stock price ended the year at $2.71, which is largely in line with what it was the prior year. We do not believe that this price is really reflective of the company's performance. You'd have seen the growth in the performance, growth in profitability and all key areas. However, we appreciate that this is really driven by market, and as such, our focus is really on driving the results and producing what we believe will ultimately have an impact on the stock price at the end of the day. So beyond the dollars and cents, we demonstrated an unwavering commitment to social corporate responsibility or corporate social responsibility, and we engaged in a series of really impactful initiatives during the year. We donated $1 million to the $500,000, to the Math and Money Challenge that aimed at encouraging financial literacy among at-risk youths in the community of Tivoli Gardens. We donated $1 million to the Bustamante Children's Home. You'd have also seen us donating $250,000 to the JC Telethon during 2023. And we also launched our $1 million Women campaign. And we did this on International Women's Day. And of course, it was aimed at driving and supporting the success of female entrepreneurs, many of whom are our customers and women-led business in Jamaica. Of course, this campaign would have culminated this year with 3 women each winning $1 million through that campaign. And that was quite significant and impactful for us. Now, during the year, we also focus and continue to identify and leverage opportunities to further enhance our services and our product delivery, product offerings, and our customer accessibility. So we form partnership with companies like Fosrich for the financing of solar equipment for businesses. We partnered with Royal Winchester Hospital, which provided financing for medical services through one of our products, MediPay. And we also collaborated with Century 21, who are now our exclusive partner when it comes to real estate handling and dealing with real estate matters. Now, looking at some of our strategic initiatives for this year and some of our outlook, we will continue to place emphasis on innovation and developing new solutions that are tailored to the needs of our customers. Already, we would have revamped one of our most popular products, the Dolla One and Ready, and we'd have seen more than 50% uptick in the performance of this product. Our team continued to explore opportunities in industries that we say have good growth prospects, and to ensure that we are leveraging those opportunities and increase in an ability to increase our market share. Now, as we expand, we are also placing emphasis on efficiency and effectiveness in our operation to handle the increased demand that comes with the growth. So we have started and will continue to focus on automating some of our recurring internal processes, and also implement solutions that will increase the turnaround time and customer experience, as well as just the robustness of our compliance framework, which is a core aspect of our operation. We will continue to maintain a significant focus on prudent lending and risk management. Of course, again, the portfolio is by and large how we make money, so we have to ensure that we continue with strategies such as the secured loan strategy to ensure that, and other prudent lending to ensure that the quality of the portfolio remains top-notch. And we cannot do all of this without some emphasis on the development of our employees. We have always focused on employee development and that culture where people want to, where people are engaged and want to continue to be a part of who we are. Establishing our presence in underserved community continues to be a part of our strategy in 2024. So we have seen it, and we have done research. We have done market research in different areas and recognize that there's a high demand for our services in Jamaica. And as such, we will continue to focus on those underserved communities to not just establish physical branches, because our sales officers do not just sit in office and wait on customers to come in. So wherever the opportunity is, then we will leverage those, whether it is to set up a physical location or just have a rep that represents us in those areas. We're working to achieve a revenue target of $2 billion. I think this would represent about a 50% increase over the prior year. And this, of course, would reflect our strong financial performance as we prioritize meeting the unique needs of our customers. And of course, this means growing the portfolio by at least a similar 50%, which means that we're looking at about a $4 billion portfolio by the end of the year. And most importantly, in order to achieve that growth in the portfolio, we would need to focus on, well, we are focusing on raising capital, because that is crucial in terms of where we intend to go with the growth of the portfolio. All right, so that ends my presentation, and at this time, I will hand over to David Henriquez, the CEO for Ultra Financier. Thank you.
Thank you, Kenroy. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of myself and the Ultra team, I would love to thank you for taking the time out this morning to attend both in person and virtually. We truly do appreciate not only your attendance, but your support over the last year. As you know, Ultra Financier is a wholly owned subsidiary of Dolla Financial. We began operations in late November 2022, and it has been an amazing whirlwind ever since. As of December 2023, the loan portfolio has now reached $847 million, with non-performing loans being maintained at 0% and ECL at 0% as well. Interest income stood at $331 million, resulting in a net profit before tax of $141 million. Operating expenses at $156 million, with an efficiency ratio of 47% achieved. Profits were primarily driven by the $847 million in loans disbursed, leading to an increase in total assets of $902.4 million, and shareholders' equity of $127.7 million as of December 2023. We landed at a cash position of $51 million, as we were able to maintain a steady pipeline throughout the year. However, I won't drown you in numbers, since the fan-favorite CFO will follow shortly to present it all in a far more nicely way than I have. So Ultra engaged in prominent platforms such as Stocks on the Rocks being our first engagement, and a memorable one. We then followed up with the Learn, Grow, Invest CEO series, which was a great platform for us to introduce our Ultra team and for them to get to know us. So I definitely want to publicly thank them again for that opportunity. We were able to sponsor a few strategic events to increase our visibility and our philanthropic efforts, such as Caymanas Corporate Golf Tournament, Jackson Bay Gun Club, Kick for Your Heart, and Kicks for Kids football tournaments. We also enjoyed a few heartwarming Christmas events with Maxfield Park Children's Home and the Jamaica National Children's Home. We are looking forward to many, many more of these events for 2024, along with increasing our loan book to $1.6 billion by the end of Q2, while maintaining our NPL at 0. Ultra's aim is to always be quick and efficient while continuing to improve our processes to grow a strong and diverse loan book. We look forward to your continued support as we take on 2024 full steam ahead. I will now like to introduce Ms. Traveen McKenzie, our CFO, to take us through the financials.
Thank you very much, David, and a very good morning to everyone here today. I promise I won't be as long as Kenroy, but I don't think I'll be as short as David. All right. So 2023 was another successful year for Dolla, where we made strides in our loan portfolio growth, interest income, profits, which all saw movements of over 50%, while we maintained our EPS at 17 cents per share. Now, if we take a look at the last 5 years, you'll notice substantial growth in all the right areas. We continued to experience growing demand, which contributed to our increased sales of 32% year over year. We disbursed approximately $2 billion in 2023, and as a result of prudent lending, our income rose to $1 billion. And of course, reaching this $1 billion milestone was an exciting achievement for us, as we've been working on this for the past few years. Consequently, profits also increased by 50% to $445 million as a result of the increased income and proper management of operating expenses. As a result of the increase in sales, the loan portfolio, as mentioned previously by our CEO, grew to $2.5 billion and thereby increasing total assets to $3 billion. Now, diving deeper into our operating expenses, you would have also noticed a 58% increase year over year to $536 million, which was properly cushioned by the $1 billion in interest income. Approximately 60% of overall operating expenses was attributable to staff costs during the year 2023, as we continued to build out the team to manage the demand for both sales and for the regulatory requirements, both those that have been implemented and those incoming. We also saw increases right across the board, as regulatory requirements also drove increases in legal and professional fees. Collections efforts were also ramped up as the portfolio size increased. Audit fees and just general cost of doing business also saw increases. Now, as profits increased, we made sure to return value to our shareholders by the way of 3 dividend payments for a total of $165 million in the year 2023. $50 million paid in December 2022, $62.5 million paid in March of 2023, and finally $52.5 million in September of 2023. Now, we spoke about our assets earlier, but also notable was the 36% growth in equity, which was directly attributable to the increase in comprehensive income during the year 2023. Liabilities also increased to $2 billion as we acquired financing from DBJ and our new partners Mayberry throughout the period to the tune of $625 million. Now, as you can see, our ratios, they remain in line with where we were in December of 2022, no major changes. Notable, of course, is our efficiency ratio at 47%, no major change to the 50% last year, and our ECL, as mentioned previously by our CEO, at 3.8%. Now, as we wrap up, taking a look at our highlights for Q1 of 2024, we continue to see increases in income and overall basically an overall growth of 25%. Now, our KPIs also remained intact with ECL at 3.5%, no major change since our assessment in December of 2023, the lowest we have seen both pre and post IPO. NPL also stood at 8.5%, which also is in line with our numbers as at the audit in December 2023. And we also maintained a low efficiency ratio of 41%. Now, at this time, I would like to thank you for your attention during this short presentation. And I will now hand over to Garfield Rees for the presentation of the auditor's report.
Good morning, everyone. Independent Auditor's Report to the members of Dolla Financial Services Limited. Report on the audit of the consolidated and standalone financial statements. Opinion. In our opinion, the consolidated financial statements and the standalone financial statements give a true and fair view of the consolidated financial position of Dolla Financial Services Limited, the company, and its subsidiaries, together the group, and the standalone financial position of the company as at 31 December 2023, and of their consolidated and standalone financial performance and their consolidated and standalone cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with IFRS accounting standards and with the requirements of the Jamaican Companies Act. What we have audited. The group's consolidated and standalone financial statements comprise the consolidated statement of financial position as at 31 December 2023, the consolidated statement of comprehensive income for the year then ended, the consolidated statement of changes in equity for the year then ended, the consolidated statement of cash flows for the year then ended, the company statement of financial position as at 31 December 2023, the company statement of comprehensive income for the year then ended, the company statement of change in equity for the year then ended, the company statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and the notes to the financial statements comprising material accounting policy information and other explanatory information. Basis for opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with International Standards on Auditing, ISAs. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibility for the audit of the consolidated and standalone financial statements section of our report. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. Independence. We are independent of the group in accordance with the International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, including international independent standards, issued by the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants, ISBA Code. We have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with the ISBA Code. Our audit approach. Audit scope. As part of designing our audit, we determine materiality and assess the risk of material misstatement in the consolidated and standalone financial statements. In particular, we consider where management made subjective judgments, for example, in respect of significant accounting estimates that involve making assumptions and considering future events that are inherently uncertain. As in all of our audits, we also address the risk of management override of internal controls, including, among other matters, consideration of whether there was evidence of bias that represented a risk of material misstatement due to fraud. How we tailored our group audit scope. We tailored the scope of our audit in order to perform sufficient work to enable us to provide an opinion on the consolidated financial statements as a whole, taking into account the structure of the group, the accounting processes and controls, and the industry in which the group operates. We determine the scope of our audit by first considering the internal organization of the group and then identifying the components of the audit that have the most significant impact on the financial statements. The group comprises a company and two further reporting components, all of which represent principal business units within the group and are located in Jamaica and Guyana. Full scope audits were performed for the company and one other component, while an audit of one or more financial statement line items was performed for the remaining component. The audit work performed covered 100% of the group's total assets and 100% of total revenue. Two of the reporting components were audited by PwC Jamaica, while the other component, located in Guyana, was audited by a non-PwC firm, familiar with the laws and regulations required to perform this audit work. Throughout the audit, we had regular meetings and correspondence with management and component auditor teams to follow up on the progress of work for all components. The group engagement team reviewed work papers relating to the audit approach and findings of the component auditors. Key audit matters. Key audit matters are those matters that, in our professional judgment, were of most significance in the audit of the consolidated and standalone financial statements of the current period. These matters were addressed within the context of our audit of the consolidated and standalone financial statements as a whole and informing our opinion thereon, and we do not provide a separate opinion on these matters. Key audit matter: IFRS 9 financial instruments, probabilities of default, forward-looking information, and significant increase in credit risk, and this is applicable to the group and the company. Refer to notes 3F, 4B, 7, and 26A of the financial statements for disclosure of related accounting policies, judgments, estimates, and balances. As of 31 December 2023, loans net of provision for losses, provision for credit losses, total 2.45 billion and 1.97 billion on the group's consolidated and the company's standalone statement of financial position, respectively. These balances represent 82% of total assets for the group and 69% of total assets for the company. The impairment provisions recorded under the IFRS 9 expected credit loss ECL model amounted to $77 million for the group and $66 million for the company. The IFRS 9 ECL impairment model takes into account reasonable and supportable forward-looking information as well as probabilities of default, PDs. PDs represent the likelihood of a borrower defaulting on its obligation over the next 12 months or over the remaining lifetime of the obligation. PDs are developed by management based on the group's and company's specific historical default rates for each industry classification. In performing historical analyses, management identified economic variables impacting credit risk and ECLs for each portfolio. Various scenarios were identified and weightings assigned using macroeconomic factors as well as management's experience and judgment. Management also performed scenario analyses to determine the impact of future economic conditions on PDs in the countries and the industries where the group and company have loan exposures. A macroeconomic indicator is determined which is statistically linked to each credit risk exposure. We focus on this area because of the complexity of the techniques used to determine PDs and the number of significant judgments made by management regarding possible future economic scenarios. We further focused on management's assessment of the significant increase in credit risk SICR as stage migrations can materially impact the ECL. Management's determination of PD's forward-looking information SICR was made with the assistance of an external expert. How our audit addressed the key audit matter. Our approach to addressing the key audit matter involved the following procedures, amongst others: updated our understanding of management's ECL model, including any changes to the source data and assumptions, and tested the mathematical integrity of the model. Evaluated the competence, independence, and objectivity of management's experts. Evaluated the design and tested the operating effectiveness of certain relevant controls over forward-looking information and SICR in the ECL determination by performing inquiries with management and inspecting management's evaluation, review, and approval of key assumptions, judgments, and forward-looking information. Evaluated, with the assistance of our specialists, the appropriateness of management's judgments pertaining to forward-looking information, including macroeconomic factors and the basis of the multiple economic scenarios used. We sensitized the various inputs and assumptions as part of our reasonableness test. Evaluated the reasonableness of management's judgments pertaining to the PD, SICR, and forward-looking information, including macroeconomic factors, by reviewing assessments provided by global credit rating agencies and applying sensitivities to the forward-looking information multiplier. Tested the completeness and accuracy of the historical data used on a sample basis by agreeing the details of customer payment profile to source documents. Tested the staging of a sample of loans by reference to the number of days outstanding of the loan. Tested the critical data fields, where applicable, using the ECL model for the PD determination, such as the default date, effective interest rate, write-off data, and loan type by tracing back to source documents. Evaluated the reasonableness of the weightings used for the base case, upside and downside scenarios by agreeing the forward-looking information to external sources published or pronounced by reputable third parties. Sensitize the probability weightings used in the ECL calculation. The results of our procedures indicated that the assumptions used by management for determining the probabilities of default, the significant increase in credit risk, and forward-looking information were not unreasonable. Other information. Management is responsible for the other information. The other information comprises the annual report, but does not include the consolidated and standalone financial statements and our auditor's report thereon, which is expected to be made available to us after the date of this auditor's report. Our opinion on the consolidated and standalone financial statements does not cover the other information, and we do not express any form of assurance conclusion thereon. In connection with our audit of the consolidated and standalone financial statements, our responsibility is to read the other information identified above when it becomes available, and in doing so, consider whether the other information is materially inconsistent with the consolidated and standalone financial statements or our knowledge obtained in the audit, or otherwise appears to be materially misstated. When we read the annual report, if we conclude that there is a material misstatement therein, we are required to communicate the matter to those charged with governance. Responsibility of management and those charged with governance for the consolidated and standalone financial statements. Management is responsible for the preparation of the consolidated and standalone financial statements that give a true and fair view in accordance with IFRS accounting standards and with requirements of the Jamaican Companies Act, and for such internal controls as management determines is necessary to enable the preparation of consolidated and standalone financial statements that are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. In preparing the consolidated and standalone financial statements, management is responsible for assessing the group and company's ability to continue as a going concern, disclosing as applicable matters related to the going concern and using the going concern basis of accounting unless management either intends to liquidate the group or company or to cease operations or has no realistic alternative but to do so. Those charged with governance are responsible for overseeing the group and company's financial reporting process. Auditor's responsibility for the audit of the consolidated and standalone financial statements. Our objectives are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the consolidated and standalone financial statements as a whole are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error, and to issue an auditor's report that includes our opinion. Reasonable assurance is a high level of assurance, but it is not a guarantee that an audit conducted in accordance with ISAs will always detect a material misstatement when it exists. Misstatements can arise from fraud or error and are considered material if, individual or in the aggregate, they could be reasonably expected to influence the economic decisions of users taken on the basis of these consolidated and standalone financial statements. As part of an audit in accordance with ISAs, we exercise professional judgment and maintain professional skepticism through the audit. We also identify and assess the risk of material misstatement of the consolidated and standalone financial statements, whether due to fraud or error, design and perform appropriate procedures responsive to those risks, and obtain audit evidence that is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for opinion. The risk of not detecting a material misstatement resulting from fraud is higher than for one resulting from error, as fraud may involve collusion, forgery, intentional omissions, misrepresentations, or the override of internal control. Obtain an understanding of internal control relevant to the audit in order to design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the group and company's internal control. Evaluate the appropriateness of accounting policies used and the reasonableness of accounting estimates and related disclosures made by management. Conclude on the appropriateness of management's use of the going concern base of accounting and, based on the audit evidence obtained, whether a material uncertainty exists related to events or conditions that may cause significant doubt on the group or company's ability to continue as a going concern. If we conclude that a material uncertainty exists, we are required to draw attention in our auditor's report to the related disclosures in the consolidated and standalone financial statements, or, if such disclosures are inadequate, to modify our opinion. Our conclusions are based on the audit evidence obtained up to the date of our auditor's report. However, future events or conditions may cause the group or company to cease to continue as a going concern. Evaluate the overall presentation, structure, and content of the consolidated and standalone financial statements, including disclosures, and whether the consolidated and standalone financial statements represent the underlying transactions and events in a manner that achieves fair presentation. Obtain sufficient, appropriate audit evidence regarding the financial information of the entities or business activities within the group to express an opinion on the consolidated financial statements. We are responsible for the direction, supervision, and performance of the group audit. We remain solely responsible for audit opinion. We communicate with those charged with governance regarding, among other matters, the planned scope and timing of the audit and significant audit findings, including any significant deficiencies in internal control that we identify during our audit. We also provide those charged with governance with a statement that we have complied with the relevant ethical requirements regarding independence and to communicate with them all relationships and other matters that may be reasonably thought to bear on our independence, and where applicable, actions taken to eliminate the threats or safeguards applied. For those matters communicated with those charged with governance, we determined those matters that were of most significance in audit of the consolidated and standalone financial statements of the current period and are therefore key audit matters. We describe these matters in our auditor's report unless law or regulation precludes public disclosure about the matter, or when, in extremely rare circumstances, we determine that a matter should not be communicated in our report because the adverse consequences of doing so would reasonably be expected to outweigh the public interest benefits of such communication. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. As required by the Jamaican Companies Act, we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purposes of our audit. In our opinion, proper accounting records have been kept so far as appears from our examination of those records, and the accompanying consolidated and standalone financial statements are in agreement therewith and give the information required by the Jamaican Companies Act in the manner so required. The engagement partner on the audit resulting in this independent auditor's report is Garfield Rees, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Chartered Accountant, Kingston, Jamaica, 28 March 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Garfield. That was earful. So at this time, shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, we will move to item number 8 on the agenda, where we will seek to consider the ordinary resolutions and communicate the results thereafter.
Good morning again, everyone. At this time, I'd just like to remind everyone of the rules which were read earlier regarding the voting for the ordinary resolutions. That only shareholders can propose or second the motions for the resolutions and can vote thereon. And also that we are encouraging all voting to be done on the online platform, which was sent out through QR code and also given at the front of the building. At this time, we will move into the ordinary resolutions as stated in the notice of the annual general meeting. We'll be putting it on the screen. Yes. All right, resolution number 1, to receive the reports of the directors and the audited accounts for the 12 months ended December 31st, 2023. The resolution reads as follows: that the report of the Board of Directors and the audited accounts for the financial year ended December 31st, 2023 be and are hereby adopted. Could I have a member propose the motion? Sir Chad Winter. And could I have a second? Ms. Tashoni Ellis. Members, we can now proceed to vote. You'll be given 30 seconds to vote using the online platform. As previously indicated, shareholders, if you're having difficulties using the online platform, I will accept a show of hands by members in the room. Chairman, I ask that you confirm Resolution 1 being carried.
Resolution carried.
Thank you. Resolution number 2. to ratify interim dividend payments and declare them final. The resolution reads as follows: that the interim dividends of 1 Jamaican dollar 0.02 cents per share paid on April 6, 2023 to shareholders on record as at March 23, 2023, 2 Jamaican dollar 0.025 cents per share paid on September 1st, 2023 to shareholders on record as at August 18, 2023, and 3 Jamaican 0.021 cents per share paid on December 12, 2023 to shareholders on record as at November 28, 2023, be and is hereby ratified and declared as final, and that no further dividend be paid in respect of the year under review. Could I have a member propose the motion, please? Mr. Chad Winter. And second? Yes, Miss Lisa Lewis. Thank you. Members, we can now vote. Chairman, I ask that you confirm the resolution being carried.
Resolution carried.
Resolution number 3. To retire and re-elect directors. That the directors retiring by rotation pursuant to Article 102 and Article 103 of the Articles of Incorporation are Mr. Dane Patterson and Mr. Kadeen Mears. To consider and, if thought fit, pass each of the following resolutions. Mr. Dane Patterson, being eligible, offers himself for re-election. Resolution 3.1 reads as follows: that Mr. Dane Patterson be and is hereby re-elected a director of the company. Could I have a member propose the motion, please? Mr. Chad Winter. And could I have a second? Miss Lisa Lewis. Thank you. Members, we can now proceed to vote. Chairman, I ask that you confirm the resolution being carried.
Resolution carried.
Thank you. Resolution 3.2. Mr. Kadeen Mears, being eligible, offers himself for re-election. Resolution 3.2 reads as follows: that Mr. Kadeen Mears be and is hereby re-elected a director of the company. Could I have a member propose the motion? Hi, can I have your name for the record? Ms. Roxanne Smikle. And could I have a second? Thank you, sir. Mr. Dan Theok, seconded. Members, we can now proceed to vote. Chairman, I ask that you confirm the resolution being carried.
Resolution carried.
Thank you. Resolution number 4, to elect directors. In accordance with Article 108 of the company's Articles of Incorporation, Ms. Alison Taff, having been appointed to the Board of Directors since the last annual general meeting, will retire from office and, being eligible, offers herself for election. To consider and if thought fit, pass the following resolution. The resolution reads as follows: that Ms. Alison Taff be and is hereby elected a director of the company. Could I have a member propose the motion, please? Ms. Lisa Lewis. And could I have a second? Mr. Ryan Reed. Members, we can now proceed to vote. Chairman, I ask that you confirm the resolution being carried.
Resolution carried.
Thank you. Resolution number 5, to authorize the board to appoint auditors. The resolution reads as follows: that the board of directors be and are hereby authorized to appoint the auditors of the company. Could I have a member propose the motion? Dr. Michael Banbury. And could I have a second? Yes, Mr. David Rose. Thank you. Members, we may now proceed to vote. Chairman, I ask you to confirm the resolution being carried.
Resolution carried.
Thank you. Resolution number 6, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors of the company. The resolution reads as follows: that the board of directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditors of the company. Could I have a member propose the motion, please? Mr. Mark Anthony Barton. And could I have a member second? Could I have your name for the record, please? Miss Muriel Bailey. Thank you, members. We may now proceed to vote. Chairman, I ask for you to confirm the resolution being carried.
Resolution carried.
Thank you. This leaves us to our last resolution, resolution number 7, to authorize to fix the remuneration of directors. The resolution reads as follows: that the board of directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the directors of the company. Could I have a member propose the motion? Mr. Chad Winter, thank you. Could I have a second? That's Mr. Mark Anthony Barton, thank you. Members, we may now proceed to vote. Chairman, I ask for you to confirm the resolution being carried.
Resolution carried.
Thank you, Chairman. Members, that will be all for the ordinary resolutions being considered at today's meeting. I thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
All right, here's to the interesting part. Questions and answers. Ladies and gentlemen, the shareholders have been given an opportunity to submit questions for tabling at this meeting, and the respective or responsible persons will be addressing or answering these questions. We will also take some questions from the floor. First question. This question is from not seen the question. Oh yes. For Mr. Terence Osborne. Considering the changes in the junior market cap, will Dolla consider coming back to market to raise equity? And are you considering the spin-off of Ultra? Both actions could lead to potentially $1 billion in fresh capital being raised, i.e., which means $250 million for Dolla and $750 million for Ultra. And this will reduce the tax liability. I hope our financial advisors, Mayberry, is taking note of this question. But I'll allow Mr. Kenoy Carr to respond.
All right, thanks for that question. So I'm happy that you mentioned our financial advisors, Mayberry, because we have, of course, seen and would have considered putting some thought to different approach in terms of raising capital for the business. As I said in my presentation, this is an important aspect for the growth of the loan portfolio. So we are, in fact, in dialogue with our financial partners, and we'll be able to share more insight in this as soon as we're authorized to do so.
Thank you. I will take a question from the floor at this time. Mr. Durant Pate.
My question was based on raising capital as it was before, but I'm being a bit more pointy. Are you looking at an APO, a bond issue, or a loan? And if you're looking at a loan, I noticed that you're carrying some loan liability at 12 and 11%, which seems quite high for an on-lender.
The response is pretty much the same. In relation to the loans that we are carrying, we would have had that as an average interest rate coming from maybe about 2022 thereabout. So we acknowledge that there are different ways that we can raise the bond without that interest expense, and those are some of the stuff that we're at this point in time.
Right, you said bond, so it's bond you're going. Yes?
I will confirm that as soon as I'm able to give more information.
Thank you. One more question from the floor.
Good morning, Kerry, very tape shareholder. Oh, okay. Hello.
I think you can hear it clearly. Oh, okay.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I want to commend the management, the board, on your fantastic performance. But I have been in this money game for a very long time. And the rules of money are you learn to earn it, you learn to grow it, you learn to keep what you grow, and you learn to preserve it. So you have gone from, I understand your loan book has, hello, yes, your loan book has had a 50% increase, and your debt to asset ratio has gone up from 17% to 64%, a whopping 47% increase. I see your retained earnings at 509 million. I'm just wanting to ask, are you really going to go outside, or are you going to deploy that 500 million? I mean, go outside to raise more additional funds and further increase this debt to asset ratio? Because that seems precipitous to me. I'm just asking. And the second question is, we are in an environment where the tourism sector is booming, and I don't see any mention of support there. I see you supporting businesses, but I don't see you positioning yourself in any particular way to go after that market. Thank you.
All right, so the first question I'll ask Trevine to respond, and the second I'll ask Kenoy to respond.
All right, thank you for that question, Ms. Berry. Before we go ahead and we do any sort of capital raise or debt raise, we ensure to do our analysis of how those numbers will impact our ratios and the numbers on a whole. So what we're doing now is doing our evaluations to see how an APO versus an IPO for Ultra and a debt raise will impact the numbers for this year and for next year. So we are currently undergoing that process, and as soon as we are complete, we will be able to make a decision, a prudent decision, and move forward with what's best for the company.
Right, and thank you for the question in relation to the tourism sector and the boom in that industry. So it is in fact a sector that we were heavily leveraged in prior to the pandemic, and of course we would have been negatively impacted. The sector that had the greatest impact on the portfolio was in fact the tourism sector. So we still maintain some amount of focus on that sector, and you would have seen where the transportation industry is a big part of our portfolio. A lot of the loans that we do in that industry are in fact connected to the hotel and tourism industry. So we'll continue to monitor and just make adjustments to our products to ensure that at the end of the day we are not too exposed to that given industry.
Always remember that there's a sowing season and there's a reaping season, and they're not.
That's correct.
Thank you. I'll take a question online before I come back to the floor. Mr. Kevin McIntosh, with the success of Ultra thus far, what strategies are being implemented to ensure consistency of the growth? David?
Morning. Thank you for the question. So what strategies are being implemented? So what we are trying to do right now, we are still pretty new. Our aim is to maintain the good that we're doing and try our best to fix our shortfalls, and slowly try to increase our loan book in a very prudent way, but to also focus on how we can diversify that loan book just to ensure protecting what we have and protecting what we have to move forward.
Thank you. David?
Sure. My first query is, one, we saw earlier this week where Dolla did a second revision on their unaudited quarterly results. Why we're seeing these second set of revisions when Dolla released so early?
All right, so for all intents and purposes, the questions for this AGM are specific to the 2023 financial year, but in this instance, I'll ask Trevine to address.
Thanks for that question, David. When we published the financials for the Q1 2024 period, there was a small error in terms of the comparative period. So we made those adjustments and we re-uploaded. With that, there was also a small error in the EPS calculation, as well as there was a recommendation to present the notes for the cash and cash equivalents. So we did all those changes and we made a re-upload as required.
Thanks, Shaveen. And then my second question, which sitting it falls in 2023, would be, we saw last year where I believe it was 2 directors were proposed to the board. BOJ still hasn't approved. We see where Ms. Taff was appointed recently. Is there any update from the BOJ in terms of when you might get appointment of new directors?
Let me respond to that. So the board of directors have recommended the appointment, of Mr. Walter Scott Casey and Mr. Jesus Johnston to the board of Dolla Financial Services. Being a regulated entity, you can appreciate that the process to getting a fit and proper approval is quite involved. It's expansive and for good reason. And as such, we anticipate this year, all being well, that those approvals will be forthcoming.
Understood. Then I recall, Dolla had announced additional branches in new locations in Jamaica and also looking at Barbados and St. Lucia. What's going on in terms of the domestic expansion from a branch perspective and also from an international perspective of growth?
All right, so we'll take this one and then we'll move online. Kenroy?
All right, so in terms of the local expansion, I would have presented on that in my presentation earlier, that we are actually looking for areas where there are high demands and making the necessary provisions to whether open a physical location or just capitalize on having a rep placed in those. So as soon as we are able to announce the opening of a new branch, then we will do so. Of course, you can appreciate, David, that as a regulated entity, we have to follow certain procedures before we can come to the public to make announcements.
No, I get that, but I recall the mention of a Clarendon branch from probably early last year, and there was no update on as to when that might go through because it was still pending by BOJ.
So again, you can. I mean, we made mention of several locations, and you would have seen where during 2023 we opened a branch in Portmore, we opened one in Falmouth, and of course we're working on other areas that we see the opportunity.
All right, thank you.
So, second question, Kenroy, in terms of the, you mentioned in the limitation where you can say you're exiting Guyana, focusing more back on Jamaica, but what about the things that were mentioned last year, which was in this case Barbados and St. Lucia?
Oh, thanks. Sorry about that, David, and thanks for the question too. So we're exiting Guyana. That was just a strategic decision because we see where we are able to have a greater return. The capital is better leveraged in Jamaica and will create a better return. And at this point in time, the focus will continue to be on our local operation where the demand is really more than what we can fund. And if there are any further developments related to regional expansion, of course, we'll provide an update on that.
Thanks. All right, great. We'll move to another question online. It's taking a while to load. I'll take one on the floor. Durant?
That was my second question about the pullback from Guyana and the expansion in St. Lucia and Barbados. That was announced from last year, and I would expect that there's some move towards that 13, 14 months later. So I'm not pleased with the fact that you seem to be deflecting and answering directly what is happening to your regional expansion, i.e. St. Lucia and Barbados.
All right, let me respond, right? Let me assist Kenroy in responding. First and foremost, the Dolla became a regulated entity, I believe, in Q1 of last year? November 2023, right? No, 2020, yes, 2022, that's correct. And as such, and just to give persons guidance, as we continue to build out and expand, we firstly need to put a proper business plan in place. We need to then submit to our regulators, the Bank of Jamaica, and then we need to seek their no objection before we can roll out a new branch into new territories, etc. There's a process to that. And I'm saying, whilst we want to grow and grow rapidly, we have to grow prudently. So we can't sacrifice speed for prudence at this point.
And in addition to that, I just want to add that the economy in Jamaica is one of the best economies in the Caribbean. So at this time, the funds being deployed in Jamaica are seeing the best return possible than moving into a territory as quickly as we possibly can.
That whole explanation about the BOJ, are you saying that they are the one who's slow in moving forward?
No, they're doing their jobs.
13 months.
They do their jobs.
Final question.
Yes.
In hindsight, you went into Guyana. 2 months later, you announced a pullout. In hindsight, do you think that the push for Guyana was wrong?
No, well, first and foremost, it was not 2 months later. 2 years. Correct.
Sorry,
so
2 months.
Let me just go on record. For the 2 years we have been in Guyana, we have been profitable. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the best utilization of capital. And if our return on investment is best placed here versus Guyana, then it makes sense for us to come back home.
Pleasant good morning, Lanzel Bloomfield, shareholder. Mr. Chairman, I have about 3 or 4 questions.
I'll only take one at this time, and then we'll go online for 2 more, and then we'll wrap up.
Expenses by nature, note 41, page 41, note 2, 24B. Mr. Chairman, in 2022, your management fee was 12 million. In 2023, this fee has jumped to 34.148 million. What has caused this?
Trevine?
Thank you for that question, Mr. Bloomfield. Now, with the expansion of the company from 2021 to 2022 and to 2023, at that point we required more involved management from our parent companies, and as such, that has led to the increase in the management fees. So instead of seeking consultations elsewhere, we decided to seek consult where it was best given.
All right, accepted.
I'll give you one more, Mr. Bloomfield.
What is the dividend policy of Dolla Financial, and what are the plans to improve dividend payout from the current 2 cents being paid?
Well, I don't think the 2 cents is bad, but to be very honest, the dividend policy is 50% of profits being distributed subject to the board of directors' determination for the need to reinvest in the company. That's the dividend policy. I'll take 2 more online. Kevin McIntosh, given Dolla's success covering its current operations through branches moving to non-cash, are there any plans to enter into fintech and possibly roll out an app or partner with a current player in the market?
Thank you for that question, Kevin McIntosh. We are currently doing an exercise where we're conducting research to see how best to incorporate various means of technological advancements into our operations, which does include an app, artificial intelligence, and all that's happening in the environment to ensure that our operations are as efficient and best placed as possible.
All right, thank you. We'll take a last one from David, and then that is it.
So I'm like Mrs. earlier, but Trevin kind of opined on it, which was with respect to the constant need for funding. So for this current year, when it comes on to the funding prospects, how is Dolla looking to address that? And a follow-up part on that is, has there been consideration given for Ultra to potentially take over another listed entity as a way to list on the market, or is it that potentially that we're going to see Dolla move to the main market to really fund its further growth?
All right, so I'll take the first, and Kenwar can take the second. In terms of the fundraise, we are currently exploring just about a $2 billion in terms of this year's capital raise. We believe that based on our ratios and where we are and the numbers we are planning to achieve this year, that's the maximum that we're able to accommodate at this time. However, we're also looking at all the opportunities in terms of the stock market and those changes that were announced this year. So we'll make further announcements as we go along.
Kenry?
I think I addressed both.
Oh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here ended the question and answer segment. And it is now 12:30. I want to thank everyone who attended, both in person and virtually, all the shareholders. Here ended the meeting of the annual general meeting, for Dolla Financial Services. The meeting is now terminated. Thank you.